The message arrived at 12:43 a.m., its blue light cutting through the stillness of my Seattle loft. Sweetheart, we need to talk about Christmas. Chloe's got everything arranged, and she thinks it's best if you don't come. I stared at the screen, hoping the words would shift into something less cruel. They didn't. My name is Emma Caldwell. I'm 34. And I had just been iced out of Christmas by the same parents whose mortgage I cleared 6 months ago. Another ping. Chloe's inviting important people from her firm. She's worried your presence might create tension. Please understand. Of course she was. Chloe always knew how to weaponize her charm, especially when she needed cover. She was the golden child, even when she dropped out of law school halfway through or maxed out $60,000 on our parents' credit cards for career-building retreats. Meanwhile, I spent 15 years coding in basements and boardrooms, saving aggressively, wearing clearance rack coats while building my financial safety net. So when Mom and Dad were drowning in Chloe's debts and bad market decisions, who did they call? Me. I wired $520,000, no hesitation. Sold my rental property, liquidated my investments, bailed them out. You saved us, Emma, they said through tears. We don't know what we'd do without you. 6 months later, I was being erased from the very holiday gathering in the house I'd saved, because Chloe had rebranded as some chic hostess and didn't want me ruining the aesthetic. Another message buzzed. Chloe's evening is going to be very refined. She's grown into such a poised, sophisticated woman. Sophisticated. This, from the same sister who called me controlling when I dared ask about the $8,000 she still hadn't repaid. Who said I was stingy when I wouldn't co-sign her 4th car loan after she totaled the previous 3. Every time I held her accountable, I was accused of creating conflict. Whenever I told the truth, I was the problem. I turned to my desk and unlocked the small safe tucked beneath it. Inside was a slim folder. They didn't know it existed. When I wired the money, my lawyer insisted on a legal agreement. Desperation had made them compliant. They signed without reading too closely. My phone lit up again, this time with a message from Chloe herself. Hey sis. Hope you're not upset. My boss and his wife are coming and, well, you can be kind of intense. Followed by, let's grab lunch next week though. Intense. Because I'd suggested she start repaying our parents instead of flaunting Gucci and Prada on Instagram. Because I'd mentioned that buying a new SUV might not be wise during her 3rd job change in 2 years. I opened my laptop, pulled up the family group chat, and typed just one word. Okay. Then I hit dial. Mark? Sorry for the late call. Go ahead and initiate. There was a pause. The house, he asked. Yes, I said. It's time. No, I added. We're not waiting until after the holidays. I could almost hear Chloe's voice ringing in my head, light, mocking, smug. She's just being dramatic. She's jealous. Of course that's what she'd tell Mom and Dad. But this wasn't drama. This was the end of my silence. After hanging up with Mark, I opened a desktop folder labeled Evidence. Inside, screenshots, transaction logs, text chains, photos, transfers from my parents' retirement account to float Chloe's temporary expenses, withdrawals from their HELOC to fund another doomed business, credit card charges from luxury resorts, while Mom wept to me about overdue property taxes. My phone buzzed again. Mom. Please don't be upset, sweetie. This is so important for Chloe's career. She's finally finding her path. We'll celebrate with you later. Later. Always later. Like the vacations I wasn't invited to because Chloe needed one-on-one time. Like every Christmas where my achievements were politely clapped aside in favor of Chloe's latest big thing. I'd spent my entire adult life being asked to step back, lower my voice, make space. So Chloe could shine. But this year? This year, I had leverage, and I was done being the family's emotional airbag. I picked up my phone and sent one final message to Mark. Send the papers first thing in the morning. And make sure they arrive during Chloe's perfect Christmas dinner. Then I opened a new tab and booked a first-class seat to the Maldives. Merry Christmas, Chloe. I'd always wanted to watch the Pacific shimmer at sunrise. Now felt like the perfect time to start choosing me. Christmas morning. My phone lit up with a barrage of notifications as I sipped an oat latte in the SeaTac first class lounge. What is this legal notice? Call us now. Emma, you can't do this. This is our home. You're insane. You've ruined everything. Chloe. I smiled. They'd just opened the formal reminder, the agreement they signed 6 months ago, under the supervision of my lawyer. They had 2 options. Buy the house from me at market value. Start paying rent at fair market rate. Failure to choose either? Eviction proceedings. My phone rang. Chloe. My boss and his wife will be here in 4 hours. Mom's sobbing. Dad's spiraling. How could you do this? I took a slow breath. Didn't you tell everyone last month you were about to land a deal that would make you financially independent? That's different. You know how these things take time. Time like the 3 years you've lived rent-free? Or time like the last $8,000 I lent you? Or maybe the 3 cars you totaled? That's not fair. I was building my brand. In the background, I heard pots clanging. Mom, stress cooking for Chloe's disaster dinner. Dad, shouting about calling their lawyer. The papers are clear, I said coolly. Buy the house, or pay rent. We can't afford either. You could, I said, if you sold your Tesla, and the designer handbags, and maybe that Aspen timeshare you bought while our parents were behind on their mortgage. There was a long, ragged silence. Then she snapped. You've always been jealous. Mom and Dad love me more. I didn't flinch. No, Chloe, they don't love you more. They're afraid of you. Afraid of the tantrums. The manipulation. The guilt. I let it hang. That ends today. A boarding call echoed in the lounge. I have to go, I said. My flight's boarding. Emma, wait. One more thing, I added, my voice steady. You have until January 15th to pay or vacate. A pause. Then the final blow. Oh, and the trust fund Grandma left? You might want to check the new terms. We had a conversation last week. I heard her inhale sharply. Grandma had always seen Chloe clearly. And last week, I showed her everything. The loans. The forged signatures. The siphoned retirement accounts. You wouldn't. I already did. Goodbye, Chloe. Enjoy your perfect Christmas. I ended the call, powered down my phone, and boarded the plane. Hours later, from 35,000 feet, Seattle disappeared beneath the clouds. The flight attendant offered champagne. I accepted. I wasn't just escaping. I was ending a cycle. No more rescuing, no more shrinking. This wasn't revenge, it was reality. And Chloe was finally going to meet it. 2 weeks later. The sun dipped into the turquoise ocean as I reclined on my private villa's deck. My phone buzzed. Grandma. You should have seen the chaos, she said, laughing. Chloe's boss saw the whole meltdown, legal docs, screaming, everything. That promotion she was bragging about? Gone. I smiled, watching the waves glitter. And Mom and Dad? Waking up. Your father found Chloe's secret credit card statements. He's furious, he's finally seeing it. Progress. For the first time, my father wasn't disappointed in Chloe, he was angry. They want to talk, all of them, Chloe too. They're asking you to come home. I had been expecting that. My escape was nearly over. I'll be back tomorrow. Tell them to meet me at my place, day after tomorrow. And Grandma? Yes, sweetheart? Thank you for standing with me. Her voice warmed. Oh, Emma, I've waited 15 years for someone to finally stand up to Hurricane Chloe. 2 days later, I walked into my downtown Seattle condo. They were already there. Mom sat rigid, eyes hollow. Dad looked smaller somehow, like the shame had shrunk him. And Chloe. Chloe was almost unrecognizable. Gone were the stilettos and carefully curated hair. She sat on my couch in jeans and a plain sweater, face bare, stripped of every ounce of image and illusion. I set my keys down and raised a hand before anyone could speak. I have something to show you. I opened my laptop and clicked through 3 files. A property listing. A business plan. A treatment brochure. Option 1. I said. A smaller house. Modest. Affordable. If you sell off most of your high-end furniture and Chloe's luxury items for the down payment. Click. Option 2. Dad. Remember your dream of starting your own accounting firm? Here's the business plan. Startup costs included. Click. Option 3. Chloe, this is a treatment center. They specialize in compulsive spending, financial therapy, and pathological lying. Excellent reviews. She opened her mouth. But, for the first time in my life, Dad raised his hand. Let your sister finish, he said firmly. I looked around the room. The house I saved, the people I'd carried. You can't keep the house unless you follow these terms. But this isn't punishment, it's a blueprint for rebuilding. Together. The right way. Mom's voice broke. Emma, when we found the cards Chloe opened in our names, we realized we could face charges. We were so blind. Our retirement is gone, Dad added quietly. I've already spoken to the banks, I said. If Chloe enters treatment and signs a repayment plan, they won't press charges. Grandma and I will help cover the program costs. Chloe stood slowly, her posture fragile. The mask was gone. Why are you helping me, after everything I did? I looked at her, really looked. And behind the wreckage, I saw her again. The little sister who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. Because you're my sister, and because I still believe there's someone inside you worth saving. Dad cleared his throat. We're choosing the smaller house, he said. Your mother and I, we need a fresh start. Chloe's tears finally fell. And me? She asked. I'll do the program. I have to. Watching my boss's face when he saw those legal papers, seeing what I did to our family, I finally saw myself. And I didn't like what I saw. It won't be easy, I warned. No phones, no credit cards, total financial transparency, 30 days minimum. I know, she whispered. But I'm more scared of staying this person than becoming someone new. Mom stood and wrapped me in a fierce hug. Her voice trembled. No conditions, no guilt, just love. We don't deserve you, Emma. This isn't about deserve, I said. It's about healing. Over the next hour, we mapped the plan. Dad would finally launch his accounting firm, with a formal loan from me. Mom agreed to sell her designer collection to fund the new home. Chloe would check into treatment the following week. As they gathered their things to leave, Chloe lingered behind. The trust fund, did Grandma really change it? I smiled faintly. No, but you needed to understand what's at stake. The money will be there, after treatment, after change, after amends. She nodded, then, tentatively, hugged me. It was awkward, but real. I'm sorry, Emma, for everything, especially Christmas. I didn't see it then, I do now. Prove it, I said. After they left, I stood at the window, watching the snow dance through the city lights. My phone buzzed, a message from Grandma. Proud of you, sweetheart. Sometimes the biggest act of love is saying no. I smiled, remembering the golden sunrise in the Maldives. Sometimes, you have to fly far away to see things clearly at home. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's giving someone a path forward, even if it arrives wrapped in legal papers on Christmas Day. Now I want to hear from you. If you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have stayed quiet for the sake of family peace? Or would you have finally drawn the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story matters more than you know. To everyone who's been labeled too intense, too dramatic, too much, this is for you. We've been taught that keeping the peace is noble. But here's what I've learned. Peace without boundaries is just silence. And silence kills more families than any argument ever could. If you've been the fixer, the one absorbing everyone else's chaos, hear this. You are not here to carry what they refuse to clean up. Sometimes, love means letting the fallout happen. Not out of spite, but out of hope. Because real healing doesn't start until the truth is loud. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your story. Hit subscribe if this spoke to you, because we're building a space for voices like yours. Boundaries aren't walls. They're bridges to healthier relationships. And sometimes, the only way to protect your peace is to take the hardest step first. Let's talk below. Because change starts when we stop staying quiet.